Was it difficult, more difficult interviewing your friends, especially comedians, than an actor?
Yeah, you're afraid you might throw them or do something wrong
Yeah.
or screw up or come in too soon on their punchline. Johnny was the greatest at that. I went on his show a lot of times because the Cavett show would be canceled. And Johnny, since we're both from Nebraska, would have me on the following Monday and say, we hope the next one works. It's going to be Armed Forces Radio for Richard. And we liked each other enormously. And I forgot what I was talking about.
I forgot what I asked.
I didn't. Oh, no,
No,
I know what it was. That part of your job, if you're in the chair, is not to commit that awful thing that makes you unable to go to sleep at night when you realize you cut in as a guest was on the way to a punchline. Yeah. And Johnny never did it. When I was on with him, we always knew where the other one was. We kind of, if one of us was slightly stuck for a word, the other one knew it and came in on it. Johnny was, I was interviewed about him today, and I said he was so much smarter than he thought he was. He had a wretched mother, as you may have seen in that American Masters documentary. The one when he proudly told her he got this great prestigious award, and she said, well, I guess they know what they're doing. And that really hurt him, enough that he told it on the air to embarrass her, I hope. But he was really smart. I made him feel good one night. I said, you remember that time when we were arguing about a bit of poetry and you said it was Emerson and I said it was Thoreau? And he said, yeah. Actually, we had been. But that pleased him because he had this idea that maybe he thought I went to Yale and he went to the University of Nebraska and therefore I had to be smarter than he was, but it wasn't true. And he was a genius in his way. He was great looking. He had a comic instinct that was faultless. And he was never as happy as he was when he was out there doing the show, unfortunately. Yeah, he had a tough personal life. He was drinking some when I worked for him in one bad season of his life, tight as a piano wire. And I thought he would snap at times. But when I take the jokes in, and he'd be sitting there in his T-shirt with one of the Pall Malls, or Pall Malls, that killed him. You can thank the P. Lorillard Company for his death. And he didn't know how he was going to do the show that night. But in the wings, beautifully suited, put out another fucking cigarette, and would go out there and just be dazzling. And I watched him, and he watched me.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he watched the show and would quote it back.
Yeah, you got quite the apprenticeship there.
Yeah, it was fun watching him. The first joke I ever wrote for him was a chancy one, I think you'll agree. He was just back from Vegas. And first night back, and I wrote for him, and he did it thus. I'm just back from Las Vegas, as you know, and have you ever noticed that Las Vegas, rearranged, spelled sideways, is salvages? I know that's not too funny, but an old man in Vermont has been writing in saying, do more anagrams. Where did that
come from?
And I thought, he'll never choose this, but he recognized, and it killed him.
I wish my dad could come up with. I need a writing staff to come up with some of those.
Once a woman sent in one of the cards, and the writers doctor the cards so because nobody can have them funny all others. And this one was, why are your streets are so dirty? I come from Cleveland, and New York streets are so dirty. I just think it's terrible. We have cleaner streets in Cleveland. And he took a pause and said my line, which was, Pompeii, when Vesuvius went off, had cleaner streets than New York.